Shalom is following Yeshua. This coming seventh day, night, Shabbat, we're going to have a live stream, and we're going to talk about, the men, and, you know, continue talking on order and stuff like that, because I was going to have a live stream this last night, and the reception wasn't good, and I didn't want to have any buffering issues, so I withheld on it. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was brotherhood and men talking to men. I find it rather interesting today that men, and we're going to talk a lot about this on the Shabbat. One of the things I find really interesting is men today are more adept at talking to women than they are men. Men do not know how to talk to each other. They don't know how to talk to each other in respect. They don't know how to talk to each other honoring each other's positions and homes. They just don't know how to talk. In fact, men are more accustomed to being offended. You could have a problem with somebody, and I'm getting a lot of emails about this, which is another reason why we're bringing this up. We're going to talk about this Shabbat. I'm getting a lot of emails of men who refuse to talk to other men, but instead will run to other people or just get offended and leave. Get offended and break fellowship or not want to talk to the person, but usually it results in them talking bad about that person to somebody else. We've all been through it. All of us have experienced that. All of us have experienced where somebody has an ought with you, and they'll be like, well, let's do what the book says. Let's talk about it. I have somebody that I want to talk to. That's what happened to me. I have somebody that wants to, that could talk, that could say something about this. I said, okay, great. Then let's get everybody who knows about this situation and bring them to the forefront so that this thing can be talked about. Not just you bring the person that has no clue about what's going on. Let's bring people that actually have firsthand knowledge, which is what the Bible calls a witness. That's what the Bible calls a witness. Not a hearsayer, but a person who actually has firsthand knowledge on this thing. Person want nothing to do with it. All of a sudden, let's not talk about it anymore. Bye. So whatever happened to the Bible? Whatever happened to keeping, quote unquote, the commandments? And I realized men just have a problem talking to other men. Oh, they'll yell and scream and bitch out their wives and threaten them and do all that sort of stuff when it comes to a woman. But then when it comes to a man, they don't even know how to handle the idea that somebody doesn't see the eye to eye the way they do. So rather than talking about it, like men do, that's what men do. We dialogue, we talk. We respect each other. We respect each other's place, our homes, wives, children, properties, everything. But we'll talk. Men want to run. And the first thing they want to do when they run is they want to run and influence some other simple-minded simp, some other simple-minded, weak-ass person, aluminum. They want to influence other pieces of aluminum. Because the Bible says iron sharpens iron. It doesn't say aluminum sharpens iron. It's iron sharpens iron. Which means you must have something that is equally real like you to sharpen you. Something that is real like you. And that's one thing that we push is just being real. We're not saying be perfect. We're striving for perfection. We're saying be real. If you struggle in an area, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I'm struggling in this area. I know with a lot of, these groups and camps and everything, people want your information so that they can then use it against you, especially if you break fellowship with them. They want to use it against you in some way to gain power over you. But that's the thing with real. And that's why there's a lot of small little groups and fellowships popping up of people who are tired of this organized bullshit. And they're like, you know what? Hey, let's get 3 or 4 of our families together, or we all like each other. Let's start having regular fellowship with just us. With just us. Where we don't have to feel like there's some sort of church hierarchical governance. Sure, they're still elders. They're still elders. But that whole pyramid scheme is gone. Well, the chickens are going crazy right now. So what happens is men don't even know how to talk to each other anymore. In reality, what happens is men operate in the first one to go and influence and get 100 people to believe their story wins. And now let's talk about it. Now I got 100 people. They ain't witnesses. They ain't biblical witnesses. And I'll tell them the same thing I'm going to tell you. And that's why. See, people aren't used to iron. They're not used to real. Today, what people want to do is they want to flex on women. They want to flex on other men. But the reality is they just have a hard time dealing with themselves. We as men should be able to communicate to each other a lot better. To be able to have a real brotherhood, to help each other. To have a love for each other. Because even that word love is thrown around. That word mispacha, family, is thrown around. Shit, that ain't no family. Most people that are operating ain't operating no family. Most people don't even know what a family is. Just being real. They ain't never raised a family. They ain't never had a family. We say family. People who say family are oftentimes the ones that don't have any concept of family. Because in order to have a concept of family, you must have a concept of order. If you don't have a concept of order and have seen it, exhibited it, lived in it, how can you say family? Just another one of those empty words that we throw around. Titles that we throw around. Brother, family, husband, wife, ish, isha, ak. Just more of that stuff. That's why I'm very, very, I think hard before I use certain words nowadays. Because I'm realizing more and more that one of the things that's going to cause a lot of men to fall away, they'll still think they're in it. I mean, that happens all the time. People think that they're in the faith when they're not in it. If you're not a doer of the word, you are if you don't do the word and you only hear it, you deceive yourself. So the Bible clearly tells us how we're supposed to handle each other as brethren, especially if it's an issue of offenses. If you don't do it, you're just going to hear the word and deceive yourself. And find people equally deceived as you, who will substantiate and back up what you think because the come-up scheme. What can I get from this person? This person came to me, and immediately the person's mind goes to, well, what can I get from them? Let's just be real. Why can't is real just be real? With ourselves, with each other. Why can't we truly want to see our brother succeed? To truly love your brother. And if you can't go to that person and talk to them because you don't know how to communicate or whatever it is, you may want to look and see and analyze, what does brotherhood actually mean to you? What does family mean to you? What does love mean to you? If you can't and you don't know how to go to another man in love, in peace, in respect, and say, hey, this thing you did to me bothered me. And I think a lot of times it's because we might just find out that our feelings are more important than what really the truth is. And we might find out that we don't really care for the truth like we gave ourselves the perception that we do. We might just find that out too. Anyways, bless you all. I hope you all are having a blessed first day. I'm going to finish the rest of these Jerusalem artichoke rows. Getting them ready to start springing up in the winter, or in the spring. Bless y'all. Hopefully I'll see you. It'll be about 6:15 Central Standard Time on 7th day night. That'd be Friday night. What the world calls Friday night. Shalom.